What is a cluster munition? Canisters that contain tens to hundreds of smaller bomblets, often referred to as submunitions, are called cluster munitions, also known as cluster bombs. The canisters can be fired from artillery, naval guns, rocket launchers, missiles, aircraft, or rocket launchers. Depending on the size of the chosen target, the canisters explode at a specific height, dispersing the bomblets inside. The shrapnel they release, which is intended to kill soldiers or destroy armored vehicles like tanks, is fused by a timer to burst closer to or on the ground. Has the conflict in Ukraine ever employed cluster bombs? Yes, since the Russian forces invaded Ukraine in February 2022, both the Russians and the Ukrainians have employed cluster bombs. Turkish-supplied cluster munitions have just lately been used by Ukrainian forces on the battlefield. However, Ukrainian officials have been pressuring the US to deliver its cluster munitions since last year. They claim that doing so would increase the ammo available for the artillery and rocket systems that the West has delivered and reduce Russia's numerical advantage in artillery. Why are cluster munitions more controversial than other bombs? Non-combatants may be put in danger as the bomblets scatter over a large region. Additionally, according to the International Committee of the Red Cross, 10% to 40% of the ammunition fails. The unexploded weapons could then go undetonated for years or even decades before being used by civilians. The Cluster Munition Coalition, an advocacy group working to outlaw the weapons worldwide, claims that 50 years after they were last used, cluster submunitions are still lying inert in Laos and Vietnam. Human Rights Watch claimed in a statement on Friday that so far in the conflict, both Russia and Ukraine have used cluster munitions that have killed people. Cluster munitions are still among the most dangerous weapons in use today. They indiscriminately kill and maim people and cause great human misery. At a seminar on the munition held in Switzerland last year, Gilles Carbonnier, vice president of the International Committee of the Red Cross, remarked, "Any use of cluster munitions, anywhere, by anyone, must be condemned," stated Carbonnier. Through the Convention on Cluster Munitions, CCM, which forbids their stockpiling, manufacture, and transfer, these weapons are no longer used in much of the world. The United States, Ukraine, Russia, and 71 other countries have not ratified the convention, despite the fact that 123 nations have. International law does not prohibit using the munitions to attack enemy troops or vehicles, but Human Rights Watch claims that using the weapons to harm people could constitute a war crime. Where have cluster bombs been used before? The Cluster Munition Coalition claims that cluster weapons have been deployed since World War II and in more than 30 other conflicts. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for notifications of more great videos. According to the coalition, the US last deployed these weapons in Iraq between 2003 and 2006. As a result of the threat they represent to civilians, US forces started gradually eliminating them in 2016, according to a 2017 statement from US Central Command.